Hi, I'm Pastor Fred. Today's sermon is titled, Easter's Not Over. First, take a moment. Let's recognize Easter, of course, is the primary foundation for the Christian faith. If it wasn't for Easter, you wouldn't see all those churches on the corners and out in the country everywhere. Remember, Pastor Fred, I'm all inclusive. But I recognize two groups, the Christians and the seekers. And seekers include the whole spectrum from those of you who consider yourselves atheists, agnostics, those of you who practice other religions, others who just simply think of themselves as spiritualists, etc. But here's what's important. Let's remember all of us are seekers of self-discipline. Let me repeat that. All of us are seekers of self-discipline. And a person seeking self-discipline is called a disciple. Notice, self-discipline, a disciple. All of us are trying to be disciples of our own beliefs. Easter's not over. Well, nothing's over. It is actually a new beginning, a rebirth, or a renewal. Or let's get started again. We continue to create a new life. We are changing. The journey to change never stops. How about this? We change 100% every 3 years living in this part of the country. Now, many of you never heard of that. I'm giving you the resource. The resource is Dr. Daniel Levine. And from his book and from his work back in the 80s at Harvard, he was director of psychiatry, The Seasons of a Man's Life. Example, it is important to know losing something is a primary cause of relapse. Have you ever thought about losing something as a trigger to your relapse? For example, I lost a job. I lost a loved one. I lost a pet. I lost my car in the parking lot. Anytime you think about your relapse, can you think about losing something and connecting them? Those are triggers. So very important. Again, anytime you lose something, you're getting ready to have a potential trigger for a relapse. All right, now let me keep going on. I want to remind you of two brain defaults. And we've talked about this before, and the two brain defaults are what? One, no pain. I do not want any pain. That is why our addiction is so bad, because why? It screams, get rid of the pain. Any kind of pain, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever. Pain is pain. The brain don't distinguish. Secondly, no more work. How many would like to just get up and not have to go to work tomorrow and still get paid for it? Unfortunately, nope. We try not to work so much. Now, why be careful? An opioid monster is in your driveway at home and in your parking space at work doing what? Doing push-ups. It's not resting. It's getting in better shape. Now, the work in the battle begins to put that opioid monster at bay. Remember, we'll never kill it, but we put it at bay. Did you ever see how Holy Week of Easter is a snapshot of your life? Let me give you a quick recap of Jesus' journey. Palm Sunday was the beginning of Jesus' journey. And he traveled from Palm Sunday till Thursday. He had a hero's welcome as a soldier. And on Thursday night, they actually had a big party and even a foot washing by Jesus. Plus, later on, as he left the place, went by to pray in Gethsemane, he was arrested. And on top of that, he was betrayed by a fellow disciple who had just finished having dinner and drinks with him. And then on Friday, he was put to death. And Saturday was kind of like a day of meditation and reflection. And then here comes Sunday. And of course, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And we start that celebrate by starting over. Let me go back a moment. Let's think about this for us. How many of y'all started out having a great weekend? Monday wasn't a bad Monday. Tuesday, okay. Wednesday, okay. Thursday, had a pretty good event going on. Then all of a sudden, here comes Friday, out of the blue. And Friday's usually kind of like the day we want to celebrate. Going back to what I just said. All of a sudden on Friday morning, instead of getting a paycheck, you got a pink paper that said you're fired, lost a job, bad news at the doctor, you got a bad week. Then on Saturday, you think, well, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What could I have stopped this? How could it have been done? What friend turned me in? What friend betrayed me, caused me to get fired? You know where I'm going with this? And then on Sunday, after all this reflection, we start realizing it's not over. Life's not over for us. It's a new beginning. And guess what? We start out Monday and the weeks pass and we've gotten through it. That is the way life is for all of us. And it takes work and discipline. Do you ever watch the Rocky movies and now the Next Generation, Creed 1 and 2? Same thing. Remember what all Rocky had to do to go through the training and everything before he could face his adversary? And it wasn't just one adversary. Remember, he made 5 movies and 2 additional movies. So it was ongoing. That's the way our life is. That's the way our discipline is. Our recommitment begins. Remember, when you talk with me about relapse prevention, we talk about my vision book. And what? And my vision book is about me or you helping others on their journey. And it's about self-care. Looking at my game plan. Remember the game plan? First thing we start talking about is the emotions. Why? Because the opioid monster attacks our relationships. And the other thing we talked about, remember the 4 S's? Scripture, sayings, songs, and our sense of humor. Remember how they can take pain and they can take care of our pains and ways of doing it without using drugs? What about our love languages? We talk about our love languages, whether they're words, touch, service, quality time, gifts. Or what about our personality, our dispersonality, the way we converse, the way we relate with people? And what about our shape for helping others? Remember, it's an acronym. We got spiritual gifts, so those are the ways we help other people. We have our heart or things that we're passionate about. We have gifts and our abilities. We have such as our personality. We have experiences in the workplace and whatever, maybe helping other people. And what we're trying to do is we build a unique game plan. Remember the emotional, physical, spiritual, nutritional, mental, social, environmental. And of course, I could repeat that for myself, dealing with my emotions, dealing with my physical stuff. And y'all have really helped me. Y'all have helped me like during Lent to improve my diet. You helped me with my physical, starting to exercise and swimming regularly. This is part of my game plan. What about your game plan? We're starting to work on that. Now, what about those of you who want to start working towards a tapering off plan? Particularly if you've been clean for at least a year. Now, there's no coasting. If you're coasting, nope, you're going to fail. But this is hard work. Remember what we talked about? The opioid monster is out in your driveway and your work, at your work in your parking place, working out while you're getting lazier. Let's enjoy our victory. I especially want to reach out to those of you who might have relapsed, because you're now returning by simply calling me at Startbupe. That's it. We're starting over, each and every one of us. That's what it's all about. I'm Pastor Fred, and goodbye to next week from all of us at Startbupe. Have a great weekend, and if you didn't find a church last week for Easter, please try it this weekend. You will never get over that part. Goodbye. Bye-bye.